And meanwhile, this morning, Garrett, there's some major news about Elon Musk's White House initiative, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE.
Yeah, Craig, for all intents and purposes, DOGE is done. The Department of Government Efficiency as an actual entity within the federal government is no more. That's according to the government's top HR official, who confirmed over the weekend that 8 months ahead of the date it was supposed to wrap up under the executive order that created it, DOGE is over.
What's going on, everybody? So, I did a story yesterday about mass resignations, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was the death of DOGE, aka the Department of Government Efficiency. That is now officially over. It is kaput. It's done. Elon Musk has left the building, and apparently so have a bunch of the people who were running it. So I want to talk about why this is significant, because it was such an utter, complete, catastrophic failure, and also at the same time was one of the most destructive things that anybody's ever done to this country and to the world. Moreover. But before I do, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. It says, the most humiliating failure of the new Trump administration has come to a sad and fitting close. It failed at every one of its stated goals while still managing to do tremendous damage to millions of people. All right. After a 10-month run that upended the lives of hundreds of thousands of federal workers, untold millions of Americans, and millions more around the world, the Department of Government Efficiency appears to be dead. It's kind of crazy. This thing goes on to talk a little bit about the numbers, and I'll get into it in just a second instead. It talks about how Elon Musk actually started out saying, well, I'm going to save $2 trillion from the federal budget, and then he trimmed his number to $1 trillion, and then after getting in there, he trimmed it back down even more to like $150 billion. But this is the really funny part, is that every time Doge tried to report its successes, its numbers collapsed under scrutiny. This summer, when Doge said it had saved America $52.8 billion by terminating government contracts, Politico could only verify $32.7 billion in actual claimed canceled contracts, for a total savings of just $1.4 billion. Doge had arrived at its original estimate through deceptive accounting. A law school dean said that the misrepresentation was akin to, quote, taking out a credit card with a $20,000 limit and then canceling it and then saying, hey, I just saved $20,000. They also were very famous for just like forgetting a couple of zeros or adding multiple zeros, which is what they talk about here. It says in one case, Doge said that it had saved taxpayers $8 billion by canceling a single contract worth a maximum of $8 million. So I want to talk about just the massive destruction that Doge caused, because like this article doesn't go through all of it, and I probably won't even be able to touch on all of it. But if we remember right, so this was Elon Musk illegally basically saying, hey, I'm going to get rid of a whole bunch of things. And the origin of the whole thing is Trump, before he's president in 2024, he's under federal indictment. He's a convicted felon. And he says, hey, I really need to win the election so that I don't go to prison. And Musk says, all right, bet. I really, really need to get rid of some of these government agencies that are looking into my business practices, and they're doing things that I'm probably going to end up going to prison. So they make a backroom deal. Trump gets $270 million from Elon Musk to help him get elected. And in return, Trump hands over the keys to everything in the government to Elon Musk, who is an unelected bureaucrat and also not an American. He's an immigrant, but nevertheless, I digress. But so he gives him access to the treasury. Elon Musk starts looting the treasury. He goes through, and this whole thing is this very vague idea of like, we're going to slash the government. We're going to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. They literally did not arrest a single person or charge anyone with waste, fraud, and abuse or anything like that while they were going through and illegally getting rid of all of these programs. So, Elon Musk cut Social Security. I think he got rid of like half of the Social Security offices. Makes it way harder for old people who need to get in contact by someone with someone by phone, that service has been massively slashed. Massive cuts to USAID, which, for those of you who don't know, USAID is like a way that we can do a little bit of good around the world by giving money for things like malaria medicine, AIDS medicine, things like this, just like a way to like sort of peddle soft influence into these other countries, but it quite literally saves millions and millions of lives because these people would not otherwise have access to that medicine. And it accounted for like less than 1% of the budget. Elon Musk got rid of it because why not? They cut cancer research, pediatric cancer research, because why not? They cut Meals on Wheels. They cut SNAP benefits. They made cuts to the National Weather Service. They made cuts to the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That was something that was legitimately a great thing because it returned billions of dollars to Americans who had been, had been ripped off by companies that are like charging them junk fees and things like that. Like, just so many things that were good. I mean, and they like admittedly screwed up so many times. Like, they accidentally fired like the top nuclear safety official or something like that, and then they were like begging to get him back. Like, DOGE got rid of air traffic controller. Like, they fired air traffic controllers. And then what happened is, like, literally right after that, we had how many plane crashes at the beginning of the Trump presidency? It was like 7 or 8. And like, you fast forward until, like what just happened now with like a whole bunch of air traffic controllers quitting during the government shutdown. It's like over 90% of air traffic control towers are already short-staffed. And Elon goes, you know what? I think we need to get rid of more of them. It's not an important job, It's like we need less waste in this thing that like literally keeps people safe while they're taking off and landing and flying. Unbelievable. And like I said, I cannot even begin to recall all of the things that Elon Musk got rid of that were a net positive. And it is going to take probably at least a decade or two to undo all of the damage that Trump and Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency have done over just the past couple of months. I mean, like, it is astounding how much damage they were able to do. And I'm going to get into the mass resignations in just a second again. But this has a lot to do with Congress completely abdicating their power, because Congress has the power of the purse, and Congress should have stepped in and said, look, you cannot just unilaterally get rid of this, right? Congress has already appropriated this money for these programs. You can't just get rid of it because you don't like it. And so we need to be clear, because there's other articles about some of the people that worked for Elon Musk and for Doge that are like kind of concerned about, oh, maybe we're going to get arrested and maybe we'll get charged. Like, I wonder why you might get charged. Is it because you know that 100% of the money that you cut from all of these programs was completely and totally illegal? Maybe that's why. And let's not like, beat around the bush. Like, these people knew that what they were doing was illegal. Like, I mean, maybe some of them didn't, because Elon did end up employing like, guys that were in their early 20s or whatever. But like, Musk knows it's illegal. He doesn't care, right? Trump knows it's illegal. He doesn't care. And for the members of Congress, and like I said, I want to touch on this in the next one about, like why there's all these mass resignations and why they're upset and all this stuff. But like, Congress allowed this to happen. They didn't step in. Nobody stopped them. And so what we have as a result is a federal government that has been absolutely battered by literally like one person. And he's not even an elected official, right? He was appointed to this position and they're done in less than a year. So like, he did what he wanted. He got what he wanted out of it, which was to get rid of all of the investigations into his companies, get rid of all the things that he didn't like. And then would you look at that? Since he wasn't voted, there's really no consequence to it. And even the freaking Tesla board just voted to give him like a $1 trillion pay package. So it's really, really grotesque. But like I said, that's the death of Doge, and I'm gonna go into how this sort of plays into what's going on with the members of Congress mass resigning in the next one. Guys, if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.